to Lexus sales event.
Lease the 2023 IS 300 for $529 a month for 39 months.
We know you don't watch all of the news.
We know you have your favorite parts, like the anchors. Pretty sure it's for award-winning First Alert weather.
Weather.
And you know our sports coverage is a hole-in-one.
Maybe you like connecting the dots to get to the truth.
Well, we do like to mix up your mornings.
Now you can get what you want on our YouTube channel.
Clips and segments from all of our local programs, uploaded just as soon as it happens.
So whatever part of our news you like, you can watch it anytime you want.
Subscribe for free today.
News 12, voted best weather coverage by the Georgia Association of Broadcasters. From the station that's on your side, News 12, first at 5, continues.
Well, next, live at 5, we're uncovering details about one Richmond County husband accused of murdering his wife.
Plus, lawmakers are trying to bring back the sports betting bill, but will it make it out of the gold?
And the #1 junior golfing event is underway. Next, live at 5, we are at the 12th annual Sage Valley Junior Invitational. But first, they certainly had a much warmer afternoon out there at Sage Valley. It's been freezing when we wake up in the morning to come to work.
Yeah, and the kiddos at the bus stop this morning feeling much better out there. Our First Alert chief meteorologist with full forecast.
Thanks, Riley. A hostage situation turned murder leads to a shootout with police. And from aggravated stalking to family violence, we found a lengthy rap sheet for the husband accused of murdering his wife, Common Gun. Now, she was a mother to a young girl, a business owner, and a community activist. She organizes the Legends Award Fairy Tale Ball and runs the Augusta Youth Debutante Society.
Tonight, live at 5, our Hallie Turner has new details about what led up to all of this. Hallie.
Her husband, Sean Gunn, was no stranger to law enforcement. In fact, he's been on Richmond County's radar since 2014. We found at least 10 criminal cases involving the suspect and the victim. His most recent run-in happened just hours after he's accused of shooting and killing his 48-year-old wife Thursday. Deputies responded to her home at 10:42 last night on Brandywine Place, where they say he fired shots at them and deputies returned fire. Multiple bullet holes line the left side of the gun home. At least one of those bullets found Sean, and he's in the hospital, but once he's released, he's facing a murder charge. And coming up all new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, I dive deeper into his past and look at how he slipped through the cracks of the justice system time and time again.
So sad. Thanks for that update, Hallie. Just hours ago, Central EMS wrapped up their first contract meeting. It was one of 2 talks set up to an agreement on how EMS services should be handled. They say they have hired 40 EMTs, and already they're looking to hire another 100 to cover their needs. We also learned today the city wants them to start 3 weeks earlier and have some overlap with Gold Cross. All new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, our Nick Veland has some other key details from today's meeting. There is a revival in the State House tonight to bring back a measure to legalize sports betting in Georgia. If you're wondering how, it's due to the goal of creating an official soapbox derby. Yeah, you heard that right, in the Peach State.
Yeah, State House reporter Abby Kasouris has been tracking this new amendment and says lawmakers have doubts if this bill passes this time.
This move puzzling people in the room as a bill designating the official soapbox derby in the state was stripped of its original intent and amended to include sports betting. Now, this is getting a lot of attention here at the Capitol, including some of the state's top leaders.
Just think it's a no-brainer.
Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones says he will support the bill.
There's a lot of people that do it, a lot of people participate in it, and all we're essentially missing is the opportunity to regulate it and collect the fees from it.
In a committee on
Apparently we're having some technical difficulties with that, of course. We'll try to get that a little bit later in the newscast. It is important to note this would not require a constitutional amendment. It would not need a 2/3 vote. Still, though, it would need bipartisan support in order for this to pass. And it has had some support in the past. It's just never made it all the way through. It's almost made it to the finish line, but something comes up where it doesn't quite pass.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll keep you updated. As we learn more with that, we'll continue tracking that through the State House as well.
Now to golf. Dozens of golfers are hoping to become household names at the 12th annual Sage Valley Junior Invitational.
And there are some new faces this year. Last year was the first women's class, plus a boys and girls playoff for the first time. Our Dan Booth has been out at the course all day. Dan, it looks like a green screen behind you. Absolutely beautiful afternoon for golf out there. Who's leading the leaderboard right now?
Well, Meredith and Will, with the grass being as green as it can possibly be, the unbelievable weather, and the fact that it is the 12th annual Junior Invitational here at Sage Valley, it is just the place to be on this beautiful Thursday. Now, with the cool temperatures earlier today, we had a speed up, or a delay actually, with with a lot of the tee times being pushed back by a couple of hours, and that ended up setting the stage for a couple of groups out there that are still working on finishing out the first round right now. As we speak, in terms of the leaderboard, on the girls' side, Anna Davis, who is the defending Augusta National Women's Champion, she's leading the way at 2 under, and then Aldrich Potgieter, who is from South Africa, is leading the way for the boys, and he is actually playing in the Masters this year, so we'll see him in a couple of weeks, which is going to be a lot of fun to see how he continues to play well throughout this time. Now, this is an impressive field, because as I just outlined, people are traveling from all over the world to compete in this year's event, and there are 17 different countries represented, and every single golfer that I spoke with said that they're ready to give it all they have and enjoy every second they're out on the course.
This is a very prestigious event, and I came here with very high expectations, and those surely were surpassed. So I'm very happy to be here and be playing it with an amazing field. And yeah, I just came here to enjoy the week, and until this point, it's going great.
There are so many talented players out here doing their thing this week, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see how they continue as the second round picks up tomorrow, and the third and final round will be taking place on Saturday, with the final ceremony being around 4 o'clock. So we're going to keep continuing coverage all the way throughout the weekend. But for now, reporting from Sage Valley, Dan Booth on your side.
Thanks for that, Dan. Like you said, Meredith, a lot of big names coming out of the Sage Valley Invitational out there.
Oh yeah, Scotty Scheffler's face is on a flag out there.
JT, you got Colin Morikawa, so some big names. Good group to be in with out there.
Absolutely. Next, live at 5, we sit down with one crossing guard who has an award-winning smile. Riley?
Well, we are staying nice and dry today, but we are tracking some rain moving in late tomorrow. We'll have an update on the timing of that rainfall just after the break.
All new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we're learning more about Common Gun and who she was to friends and family in the Augusta community.
Time and temp.
We'll see a good bit of cloud cover for lunchtime, and remember those rain chances tomorrow don't really start to increase until we get to much later into the afternoon and into our Friday night. Looking at the weekend outlook, we're back down to the 30s, waking up early Sunday morning as you're heading off to church, and then those highs stay in the 50s all the way through next Tuesday.
Thanks, Riley. If you drive by Lewiston Elementary when school lets in or out, chances are you've seen Columbia County crossing guard Nathan Jackson. He's been in the top running for America's favorite crossing guard and received an award sponsored by Safe Routes to School.
Oh yeah, and I've seen him on social media for years. Will Volk spoke with Jackson, who says he works to bring smiles to each driver while also working to keep his students safe.
If you drive by Nathan Jackson when he's on duty, you're gonna see him smile. It doesn't matter if he has a whistle in his mouth. It doesn't matter if he's doing a TV interview. If he's working, he's smiling.
You never know what kind of day someone might be having as they're coming through me, so I figure if I can give that positive vibe to them, it'll make their day.
Jackson has been conducting traffic every morning and afternoon.
And I just love what I do. I just love my job out here.
For 6 years.
Yep, I love my job.
Working 2 schools a day, Jackson says he gets a lot of hellos.
I've had people come find me afternoon saying, I've had a really crappy day or a really crappy morning this morning, and your smile just made my day. And that's worth it to me.
He says it feels good knowing his smile helps brighten people's days.
Just makes my heart feel great. Makes me always want to come out here every day, no matter what kind of weather it is.
It could be hot, cold, raining, snowing. It doesn't matter. If Nathan Jackson's working, he's smiling.
I've been very fortunate and very blessed to have this job. I cannot ask for a better job. I really couldn't.
In Columbia County, Will Volk on your side.
Oh, how fun is that?
I think every single one of us needs a Jackson or Nathan Jackson inside of our lives, telling us that every day when we're having a bad day.
For real. You can find him outside Lewiston Elementary and Columbia Middle, just sharing those smiles. I mean, you can't have a bad day when you see that.
And do what you love, and that's what he loves doing, and you can tell. It's awesome.
His smile is contagious. A part of history is now permanent in downtown Augusta. Richmond County leaders paid tribute to Augusta native and literary giant Frank Wrdw. The state historic marker was unveiled near the corner of 8th and Hall Streets, which is right off Laney Walker Boulevard. Wrdw was born in Augusta in 1916. During his career, he published 33 novels, 12 of which became New York Times bestsellers. A historic state marker unveiled near the corner of 8th and Hall Streets. Again, we said right off Laney Walker. And again, an incredible feat to publish 33 novels and again, I mean, a dozen bestsellers. And also, here's a little historical fact. 3 of his books were turned into major motion pictures. So now when you drive by, you'll know.
It's an exciting opportunity, especially with historical markers, to take a certain spot and show that something important happened here in Georgia's past, and for people to be able to just have the accessibility to walk up to a spot like that, learn about something that happened in their past, and kind of see the significance of where they live and things that have brought their community to today.
And inspire future writers. Wrdw was inducted into the Georgia Writers Hall of Fame before he died in 1991. Dangerous chemicals have made their way into our water systems. Next slide.
And our Google rating is excellent. Injured? Call me right now. Call 222-HURT right now.
Investigate TV is here.
You almost seem speechless.
Watch Investigate TV. From the station that's on your side. This is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
A mother, friend, business owner, and community activist dead after deputies say her husband shot and killed her.
It was just very heartbreaking. I mean, it just really shook me up all day. It really did.
Friends reacting today in Richmond County, deputies arresting Common Gun's husband, Sean Gunn, after that shooting. This is a booking photo from a previous arrest back in July. We requested incident reports from the Richmond County Sheriff's Office to learn more about Gunn's past. They sent us reports from 14 separate incidents.
News 12's Hallie Turner combed through those documents to get a better picture of what could have led up to this.
What you see here is a paper trail of Sean Gunn's criminal history. In one hand are 10 incident reports, and in the other are 6 court rulings dating back to 2014, the start of the Gunn's run-in with law enforcement.
It's clear Sean and his wife Common have a long history of domestic violence. The aggressor listed in every case, Sean. Before deputies say he shot and killed his 48-year-old wife Thursday, Richmond County tells News 12 there have been at least 10 criminal cases involving the couple. Charges range from aggravated stalking, reckless conduct, family violence, and even a recent DUI. But despite a pattern of violence, he's never served prison time. Documents reveal his wife Common has been filing domestic violence reports for quite some time, starting in 2014 when he slugged her in the ears, face, and head, according to an arrest warrant. She suffered bleeding from her ears and scratch marks to the left side of her face. Sean was facing simple battery and a misdemeanor, but in 2018, the court declined to move forward in the prosecution because the case was 4 years old. In 2015, he was even charged for not complying with verbal commands by law enforcement and then kicking the officers, as well as firing a gun into an apartment complex. 8 months later, criminal trespassing. A warrant shows he caused $400 worth of damage to the front door of Common Gun's home, damaging a wall, cracking a screen of a tablet, and more. He's also said to have entered into a child's bedroom, throwing one of her tables at the wall.
And the list goes on and on with a pattern of the same charges, including restraining order violations, and nearly every time cases timed out or were dropped from the system for one reason or another, with no prison time served.
Certainly a lot of red flags and a lot of answers we're waiting to hear about that. Hallie, thank you. Richmond County deputies raced to the Fitzroy Augusta townhomes. This was just after 10:30 last night, not really knowing what they were responding to.
Right, just before they got there, they got a call of shots fired at that home, and on the scene, they say they tried to get that suspect, Sean Gunn, to come outside, and said deputies say he started opening fire on them. Inside the home, his wife, Common Gunn, dead from a gunshot wound.
Now Sean is charged with her murder, but he's in the hospital as we speak. Our Taylor Martin live outside Common's Boutique, one of the places she invested so much time and energy.
So Taylor, you spoke with her friends today. How are they dealing with this?
Friends say they're devastated, and one of the resounding things they all say is how much she loved her daughter. So much so that she named this boutique after her, Bentley's Closet. Serenity prayer posted on Common Gunn's Facebook page less than a week before her friends and family would mourn her loss.
It was just very heartbreaking. I mean, it just really shook me up all day. It really did.
Now, flowers are on the door of Bentley's Closet. An entrepreneur, a mother, and a friend. Friends say she had a personality that was hard to forget.
She's always very bubbly. Always, like I said, a light. Like every time you've seen her, you always knew she was going to give you a smile. So it's going to be hard to go into rooms and not see her there.
Along with opening a new location of Bentley's Closet on McCartan Street downtown, Common had big things planned in Augusta. An all-white party at Bentley's, the Augusta Grammys, the Augusta Legends Awards show, and a pop-up shop for the Masters. She was also a mentor and a community leader friends and family say will be greatly missed.
So it's a huge loss when you lose somebody like that in the community.
Above all, there was no question how much she loved her daughter, Bentley.
She was really big on trying to establish some type of foundation for her daughter and to keep, legacy. That's what we're all about. We're all about building legacy for our children and having something to pass down.
And there's still a lot up in the air, like whether or not Bentley's Closet will stay open and who will carry on all of the different events that Common had planned. We'll keep you updated on that as soon as we get information.
She certainly had a lot of plans. Thanks for letting us know a little bit more about that victim. Taylor, thanks a lot.
Taking a look outside I-20.
High school students, you still have about 30 minutes now to make it over to the Power Up Your Future Career and College Night. That's going on at USC Aiken's Convocation Center. You could get $5,000 in scholarship money. There's going to be military recruiters on hand, a number of college representatives. All this wrapping up at 7 o'clock tonight. Coming up, with prices rising, experts say utility bills won't be spared when the heat waves hit. The I-Team breaks down some real ways to save.
And we are tracking our next front moving in tomorrow, bringing us pretty widespread rain late into the day. I have an update on the full forecast just after the break.
Time and temp.
4 or 5 o'clock. If you're traveling down Savannah for the parade there, that parade starts just after 10 a.m. and no weather worries if you are heading towards the coast. Looking at our weekend outlook, it is going to get cold again, waking up in the mid-30s early Sunday as you're heading off to church. And then those high temperatures Sunday through next Tuesday look to remain below 60 degrees.
Riley, thank you. State officials already warning us about the high cost of keeping cool this summer. The Georgia Public Service Commission says we should start getting ready now before the heat wave hits.
From the cost of eggs to used cars, everything went up during the pandemic. Now we're seeing higher power bills too.
And they're all expected to increase even more over the next 3 years. Senior investigative reporter Liz Owen sat down with the vice chair of the commission to find out some real ways to save.
It's not really a pretty time for rates in Georgia.
Tim Eccles isn't pressing his luck with his power bill. The vice chairman of Georgia Public Service Commission knows as the heat rises, so will his power bill, along with 5 more rate increases.
That's why it's important for consumers to be able to figure out these little ways that they can save and get the bill back down to something they can afford. One of the easiest ways is switching to a prepay or pay by the day rate.
Think of it like a prepaid cell phone. Pay ahead and receive real-time texts alerting you of your balance.
And these customers, most of them low-income customers, are saving 11%. And so that kind of mitigates the rate increase if you can then save 11%. You're wasting money with with this precious power that you're spending so much to pay for, you're letting it all escape.
Insulation can drastically cut down on your power bill, and you can get a rebate from the power company for the installation.
This Inflation Reduction Act that was passed last year has replenished the tax credit for solar panels, so back up to 26%, and sometimes more based on certain circumstances.
The Inflation Reduction Act provides assistance for solar panels, as well as replacing AC units with Energy Star units.
You can get up to an $8,000 tax credit. So this is really significant. This was not available before the Inflation Reduction Act. So if your HVAC unit is on its last leg, or you feel like, wait a second, that thing's running all the time. If it's running too much, you're wasting your money. You know, a lot of people getting solar, about half the customers are adding batteries in their garage. So maybe some Tesla batteries along the wall. You also get a tax credit for that if you do it at the same time as the solar.
Utility companies will soon be able to tap into the power inside your electric car's battery and pay you for it too.
So this is coming. Right now, there's only a few cars that allow that, but the idea of utility being able to tap into grid assets when they really need it, like on a hot day in August in the afternoon, tap into your car for 15 minutes, or be able to turn your air condition off for 15 minutes and give you a financial credit for doing that.
Coming up, they're going green. Local breweries are getting ready for St. Patrick's Day celebrations. We'll show you the preps.
And ahead in sports, time to tee it up. The best young golfers from 17 countries in Aiken County right now for the Sage Valley Junior Invitational. We're heading there live with Sports Director Dan Booth after the break.
Call us about
The Hawk Law Group.
Dozens of really good golfers hoping to become household names at the 12th annual Sage Valley Junior Invitational. Some new faces out there this year as well. Our sports director Dan Booth joining us live from the beautiful fairways of Sage Valley Golf Club. Dan, take it away.
Richard, with the grass being as green as it can possibly be, the unbelievable weather, and the first round of the 12th annual Junior Invitational, the Sage Valley Golf Club is the place to be on this beautiful Thursday. Now, because of the cool temperatures earlier this morning, all tee times were pushed off by 2 hours, so the first round is just coming to a close. Now, when it comes to the leaderboard, Anna Davis is leading the way on the girls' side, and you might remember that name because she is the reigning Augusta National Women's Amateur Champion, and she's sitting at 2 under. For the boys, Aldrich Potgeider, who is from South Africa, he is leading on the boys' side at the moment, and he will be sticking around because in a couple of weeks, he's actually going to be playing in the Masters, so it's going to be fun to see how he continues to play out here in this area, which is a lot of fun to be in the CSRA. Now, as I mentioned, this is an impressive field, and when traveling all over the world, people are coming here for this event. There are 17 different countries being represented, including one golfer from Belgium who's beyond excited to say she'll be golfing at the University of Georgia next year.
It's like the best feeling in the world. I'm like all fired up every time I think about the fact that I'm a bulldog. Well, not yet, but soon. And it's so cool. I can talk about that with people from all over the place, and everyone's so supportive, and it's incredible.
It was so much fun getting a chance to catch up with her, and I know there are a lot of Bulldogs fans out there who are excited to know that Georgia continues to add to their talent in their golf program. Now, with the first round coming to a close tonight, the second round kicks off tomorrow, and then the third and final round will take place on Saturday, so it's going to be a lot of fun to have continuing coverage all the way throughout, with the final ceremony taking place at about 4 o'clock on Saturday. But for now, reporting from Sage Valley Golf Club, Dan Booth on your side.
On a beautiful day for golf in Aiken County. Dan Booth, thanks very much. We know even the spirits are in the spirit for St. Patrick's Day.
The kegs are flowing green in a lot of bars in downtown Augusta already. You can find a glass like this one at Savannah River Brewing Company today. The prep's underway as they got all their beer tapped and the tap room sorted. The brewing company expecting a huge crowd with extended hours.
So, yeah, Irish music all day long, live Irish music with Charles Smith, who's a great musician. He plays like literally every instrument and sings traditional Irish folk songs.
There's There's also going to be Irish dancers and special released Irish stouts. Savannah River Brewing Company is open from noon until 10, and it looks like it's going to be a good time.
And speaking of which, the St. Patrick's Day Parade in downtown Augusta kicking off at 2 in the afternoon tomorrow. If you're parking for that parade, there are some roads you should avoid. That Parade in downtown Augusta kicking off at 2 in the afternoon tomorrow. If you're parking for that parade, there are some roads you should avoid. That route's going to start at Telfair Street, take a right on 11th, and then turn right onto Broad, right through the heart of downtown, ending up over at 6th Street. So avoid those streets if you can, and then find a parking place outside the route. That way you're not boxed in by it.
Okay, calling all runners. It's time to lace up your shoes. The Augusta Regional Airport will be hosting its second annual Run the Runway 5K this Saturday. It'll start near the Lock and Dam Park, then continue onto the tarmac of Augusta Regional. Organizers say there will be a race for both kids and adults, and it all kicks off at 8 a.m.
And even though the video looks like it's got jets on the runways, I think we're going to be able to avoid the jets for that run.
I did confirm with First Alert meteorologist Anthony Carpino they would clear all the planes for the runway for the 5K there. And luckily we do look mostly dry this week. It is going to be cooling off again though. High temps only into the low 60s Saturday, then only into the 50s by Sunday. We'll have another look at that 7-day just after the break.
You're watching News 12 on your side.
We